Today we are going to go ahead and take a look at the Nova Settler. So the Nova Settler is the next ship or next class of ships that I decided to go ahead and build designs for, and that is in the name, the Settler class. So these ships are designs that way you can go ahead and fly on out and set up your own homestead on some distant star. You want to be able to have a ship that can bring everything that you would possibly need with you for that. And because it's assuming that your skills are not necessarily in flying a ship and are instead in setting up the homestead, this needs to be a ship that anybody can fly. So, we are looking for a ship that is entirely Class A parts. We are looking for a ship that requires 0 ranks of starship design. And we are looking for a ship that has everything that we would need to set up that homestead. For game purposes, this means that we need to have a workshop, so that way we can go ahead and build whatever pieces that we would need for our outpost. We need an infirmary in case anybody gets injured by the wildlife on this distant planet. We also need a cargo hold hab in order to carry all the gear and equipment that we might need to set up our outpost. And then finally, we need a ship that has to be able to sleep that family of 4 or more, have a galley to cook in while we are out there, and ideally also have some place that we can live in for a while, which means that we need some extra living space and not just, a single 2x1 hab. Additionally, there is a strong case, depending upon where you are going, to go ahead and also have an armory. So some designs may include an armory and some designs may not. This particular ship is put together entirely here on New Homestead, here on Titan, and it's entirely built using Nova Galactic parts. So now that we've done a lot of staring and looking, let's go ahead and take a tour. Now, from looking at the ship on the outside, you can see I am using the flip glitch, or sometimes also the duplication glitch to go ahead and build the ship. However, no mods should be required to build the ship. Alright, so first thing first, we come on in here, and this is the Nova Galactic 3x2 cargo hold. We can see here's our entrance, and then right around here we have one of our habs. This particular one is the infirmary, which you always want right near your entrance, just in case somebody gets injured and you need to bring them on board quickly. The other thing that we want off of the cargo hold hab is the workshop, which we can see is right here. Now, which side each of these is on is entirely up to you. You can easily swap them, but one of these 2 sides. Next up, going through this door, we enter the Cabot Bridge, which is the fun bridge that has stairs. Do note there is one variant of the Cabot Bridge that does not require starship design, so we are allowed to use that. Coming in here, we are entering a 2x1 hab. This one can be whatever you would desire. Like, for instance, if you want that armory, this is the perfect spot for it. For this particular ship, I made it the cargo, or not the cargo hold, the control room. Just so that way you can have a little bit more crew on your ship. Next up, we have our docking axis right here. And then a door that leads into the back. From here, this is the front of the 2x1 captain's quarters. You can see right around the corner here. And then we have a cross passage on each side. So this is basically a little landing area that then splits out to all of the living areas. Coming on over here, we enter into the 2x2 all-in-one hab. So we can see over here there's a bathroom right over here. There's a galley for us to cook at. Nice little storage room to carry whatever you need. Little bench area that we can sit and relax at with a TV over here. Do note you could go ahead and get a window right over there, but that would remove that bench seating. I decided to keep the bench seating and forget the window, but if you want to, you can easily put the window there. Um, Speaking of windows, that window there is fine, but if we were to put a window right here, that would get rid of this bench or table and also the bathroom. So we are not wanting to put a window there. Right over here, we have two of our beds and a couple of desks and tables to sit at. Here I did go ahead and put a window. That is optional. If you don't have that, you are going to get another desk similar to that, if I remember correctly. Coming across back here, we're going to cross all the way on over, and this is the Nova Galactic 2x2 living quarters. Now, do note that because of where we have our entryway, this does have two beds. Note that it usually defaults to trying to put a door right here if you just let it put doors wherever the shipbuilder wants. We are not putting a window here because that keeps our nice lovely couch in front of our massive TV right here. And then we've had a little bit of workout area right back here. Coming on over here, one of my favorite parts is the pool table that is located right here. Again, similar issue. If we put a window or a door right there, or windows or ladders that go through, it will remove the pool table. But we can have that window right there. Additionally, I will note that there is a small galley here, which honestly should mostly be just used for washing your hands. The primary galley is on the other side of the ship. Coming back here, we have a couple little desks in case we need to do some paperwork, another window to look out of, and then the other bathroom on the ship. And that is the interior tour. So let's go ahead and take a look at the ship in the shipbuilder.
Hey, anything I can help you with? Okay, no problem.
As mentioned, the ship is used in entirely Nova Galactic parts, so we can get everything that we need from here. Now, I am running a modded game, but you should not need any mods to be able to build this ship. You can see it set stats down here. We are maintaining that limitation if we always want to have at least 27 light year jump range. As much mobility as we can, though this isn't supposed to be a particularly agile ship. It's just supposed to get you from point A to point B with everything that you would need. And then we can see this is giving us 920 cargo. If we want to maintain this 27 light year jump range, the only way that we can get more cargo, realistically, is cutting engines, which then massively tanks that mobility score. So it's your choice on if that is something that you would want to do. So let's go ahead first, just for the sake of argument, and put the colors into our palette. And I just went with some blues and a red, just because I kind of like that look, but by all means go with whatever colors make you happy. Now that we've done that, let's go ahead and select everything and delete it. Alright, now starting from scratch, again, everything that we need can be purchased right here at Nova Galactic. So let's start with the landing bay. Now, immediately above this, let's go ahead and fill out our habitable portions of the ship. So we're going to come on over to the habs, and we are going to select the Nova Galactic Cargo Hall 2x3, and we're going to place that right there. So we've got the entry right here going into this. Then we're going to come up front to the middle portion. We're going to come back on over to the cockpits. We're going to choose the Cabot C3 bridge. Do note C3X and C4 require Starship design, so we cannot use those in this build. Now, Here is where things get a little fun. If we just grab a 2x2 hab off of anywhere, just say grab this, put it here, and then decide, oh hey, I want this sticking here, there's an even chance that the shipbuilder will decide to put a ladder right here, which we don't want. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select right here, and then I'm going to choose the hab that I would like. And in this case, that is the control station. Again, there's a good argument for going ahead and using the armory here if you would prefer. And then by doing this, hopefully the shipbuilder will decide not to stick a ladder right there. Sometimes I found this works, sometimes it doesn't. Alright, moving off from surrounding the cockpit, the next thing that we're going to do is on these two spots, outside portions of the cargo hold, we are going to put more 2x1s. Does not matter which one you choose for which spot, but we need the infirmary and the workshop here. So as I showed in the tour, this would be the infirmary, this would be the workshop. Again, you can swap these back and forth without really changing anything. Continuing on from here, coming off the back of the control station hab, we are going to go ahead and grab the captain's quarters. Then, on each side, we're going to grab that Nova cross passage. And then we are going to go ahead and grab the 2x2 berths. Because there's only one spot that this can possibly connect, we can go ahead and just move this around however we want without the shipbuilders screwing up where we want connections. However, this would be one of the strongest arguments for using the place doors yourself mod, because then I could go ahead and, instead of having it wide like this, pull this in here, guarantee a door right here without connecting some other weird way. Like, say, for instance, the only way to get over here would be to come in, go through the workshop, then up, and then all the way across. Because I guarantee you that the shipbuilder auto pathing would probably do something silly like that. But as I said, with place doors yourself, you can shrink the size of this. But without that, this guarantees that we get the layout that we would like. And then the final thing that we're doing is right here, we are going to come on over and choose the docker. And there we go. That is all the human habitable portions of this ship. Alright, so let's go ahead and start on the bottom of the ship then. So right here, we have a space between these habs, and we are going to go ahead and put our reactor and our grav drive here. Again, with these, you can use whatever variants you would like. This particular build does not need any connections on the side or the back for these, so which spot you put which thing doesn't really matter. In this ship build, I went with the Helios 300 grav drive, and again, you can put that here, you can put that here, it makes no difference. And then I went with the 134 toroidal reactor. Again, if we go to the 144, we need Starship design. We could also use the 360T Stellarator. However, that is 5 more mass, so I went with the lighter one. Next up, we're going to come right back down here, and we're going to add some fuel. For this build, I went with 2 M20 Ulysses tanks, just because I liked the look a little bit there. However, you can get just as much fuel by going ahead on the back of this landing bay and grabbing a 400G HE3 tank. It's the exact same amount of fuel, and it saves you a little bit of mass. So this is 21 mass versus 14, so that'd be 28 for the two of them. So that would save you 7 mass by going ahead and doing this, and that could free up some space for a little bit more mobility if you wanted that way. Alright, continuing on over here. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some structural components. So here I went ahead with the Nova cowling, and I just placed a pair of Nova cowlings like this. Copy. And then, since we're here already, let's copy here. And copy here. And there we go. Alright, coming on over here. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and place our landing gear. This ship uses 4 landing gear, all of the NG-15 variant. You could probably do the NG-10 variant if you like that appearance, but I don't really like that angled look on most of my ships. I prefer this little side bump. And again, we cannot use the NG-20, which would go underneath because it requires Starship design. Now, the NG-15 has 2 variants. There's basically this flush variant, and then there's a variant that has a braking engine on the front. I do like the look of that braking engine, so I'd go ahead and put that on the front 2 pieces of landing gear. And then let's come on over to this side and just copy them both. All right. So that is this layer more or less done. So let's go ahead and add our windows. Coming back on over to these structural components, I added a porthole here. And then I added a porthole on the back. And again over here. If you wanted to, you could easily add portholes here and on the other side over here. It just didn't make sense to have portholes in the cargo hold to me. But again, it's entirely your choice there. Alright, so moving up to the, I guess, 3rd layer here. Let's go ahead and start by adding some windows. So I want to go ahead and add a porthole here, and then a porthole here. And then on this side, let's just put our portholes here and here. Again, the positioning of these portholes is designed so that way we are not losing things that we want to keep on the inside. Shifting around here, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and, actually, let's go ahead and fill this little section here in. So first things first, off the side here, I have the cargo. I have a pair of these Storm X50 cargo holds, one on each side. And that is all the cargo that I had room for on this ship. Again, if I wanted to add any more, then I need to remove something to save that jump range. Next up, let's go to the structural tab, and here I'm going to come on down to the Nova Cowling 2L. It starts with the PF one. I want the mid variant, so the PM. Okay, and I want one of these on each side. And then I'm going to copy a pair more, because what I'm going to do now is bring this in here. And that one decided it didn't want to go, so let's go ahead and flip this over. And there, it wants the duplication glitch that way. I am doing this because I want to go ahead and fill this area with something. There's not any cargo hab that I can put there that fills it out nicely. And Nova Galactic does not have like the Deimos Hull A or the Stroud Midcap or anything like that that goes here. So the only way to kind of fill this up would be doing something like this, or with one of the top or bottom cowlings like this. So if you were to use multi-manufacturer or pieces from multiple manufacturers, this would be the #1 spot that I would go ahead and swap a little bit of out for. Additionally to this, there's this small gap right here between this and this. If you had the Hope Tech cap, you can fit the cap in here. It does require glitching to do so. However, it does not actually clip into the cross passage. It only clips into these struts. So that would be a way to kind of fill this out a little bit more and make it look less like gangly like it currently does. All right, next up, let's go ahead and add a little bit more. I want to grab one of these and place it here, and then flip and place it here. And then let's grab another one, and we're going to do this here, and this here, and then we're going to copy it again, and then copy it again, and then copy it again, and copy it again. There we go. Now we've got all those structural pieces in place. Now, one of the fun things that I found while building this ship is this particular piece here is 8 mass. If I go on over to the Engines tab, we have the Ammon 3 engine here. This Ammon 3 engine can connect on the front, top, or bottom, so we could easily go ahead, say, and stick one right here. And we get similar performance out of this one engine as we would out of a single Ares DT30. The Ares DT30 has slightly more maneuvering thrust than the Ammon 3 does, but they have the same engine thrust, same max power, so it's usually around the same if you use these two engines. However, I ran into some mass issues with this ship, and it turns out that the Ammon 3 engine is 98 mass versus the Ares DT30's 88 mass. 88 plus 8 is 96, so this little setup right here, where I've got the cowling to connect this, is actually ever so slightly lighter than going ahead and just sticking a single engine right here. Is this relevant most of the time? No, but I did find it kind of interesting. And that was actually the reason why I chose this setup rather than going ahead and putting some Ammon engines on this ship. Alright, so this here is the mid-level done. So now the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to finish off the top level. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab one of these cowlings, put it here, and then flip to the rear variant and put that there, and then copy that on over to this side. Next, I'm going to grab one of these and place it right here, and then I'm going to come over here, back in the structural tab, and grab the Nova Cowling 1L, place that there. And sometimes when you're just copying things like this, it throws the error that the Docker module needs to be positioned on the outside edge of the ship. This just means that it doesn't like me copying one of these, so let's start deleting things until it stops complaining. Okay, I don't know which one it didn't like, but maybe it was just all of them. Alright, try this again. Copy, copy, copy. Alright. Alright, now it's not complaining. Perfect. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to shift this to the side, and then we're going to place a shield right here. Now, I decided I wanted to hide the shield on this ship. This is entirely optional. You can stick it on any exposed surface that you want, or sticking off the side, like say right over here, or you can hide it under one of these cowlings if you would like, or back here, just anywhere that you would like. If for shields on this ship, I decided to go with the Marduk 1010A. However, the other good options would be the 30S Protector, or you can go with the Deflector SG30. If you go with this and you don't want to flip it in place, you can go ahead and hide it or just leave it exposed right here. If you are okay hiding it underneath, then we've got the Marduk 1010, which fits right here, or the 30S. However, the 30S will stick ever so slightly out of this, as you can see with that small amount of exposed surface there. So it's really whatever variant that you would like for the shield. For hiding it, we're going to just put this over, flip, flip, cancel, and we are done. Alright, all that is left now is to put on the weapons. For this particular build, let's go ahead and see what I grabbed. I went with a set of the Disruptor 3300A auto electron beams. As you can see, there are literally as many mounting points for weapons as I could possibly want, so you can stick them wherever would make you happiest. In this particular ship, I went ahead and stuck 2 here, and then you can stick them back here, or I think I stuck them up here. And, as you can see, just wherever you would like. Then I added one other weapon to this ship, and that was coming right down here. I added the sure, the 270A missile launcher. I am not going to try and pronounce that again. And I put 2 of those on this ship right down here. Again, you can load this up with as many weapons as you would like, or keep it kind of sparse like I did. For me, it makes more sense for a civilian grade ship to be lightly armed. But again, if you are playing for game purposes, then load it up with as many particle beams as you can. All right, so we have one error now, and that's just that we need to assign our weapons. Let's come on in here and do that. All right, the ship is ready to go. All that it needs now is a paint job. So, as usual, whatever paints make you happy. I went with a blue primary color, as you can see right here. Then a teal secondary color. Again, it's very similar to the blue, but just shifted over this way some. And then I just grabbed a red third color because I wanted something that would pop a little bit. All right, and there we go. It's the Nova Settler for you. All right. Let's take this baby up and get a few shots of her in flight. All right. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and leave you. Enjoy, and I will see you in the Starfield.